My name is Charles Back. I'm the third generation owner of Fairview, and I also add, the very proud owner of this estate. And my family came to South Africa in 1902. They came from Lithuania. That was then part of the Russian Empire. My grandfather took a boat to Cape Town and started working in Cape Town as a dockhand. He worked his way up as a butcher boy and eventually saved up enough money and bought Fairview in 1937. My late father Cyril joined my grandfather in 1955, and I joined my father in 1978. My father unfortunately passed away in 1995, and I've been running Fairview single-handedly since then. We started predominantly as a wine producing company and slowly branched out into other activities such as cheese and tourism, and today we attract about 500,000 tourists to our two properties.
Hi, I'm Anthony de Jager, winemaker at Fairview, and this afternoon we're going to be looking at two real South African grape varieties. Firstly, Chenin Blanc and also Pinotage. So Chenin is the most planted variety in South Africa, and it covers a broad range of styles, all the way from fresh and light and fruity through to lightly oaked, more oaked, and eventually we get some very robust, bigger styles of Chenin. It also goes from really dry, and in some cases the wine gets sweet, even to a late harvest style. On the one side, people use it as bubbly base wine for making sparkling wine, and it even gets used in brandy distillation. So it really covers the full spectrum of white wine in South Africa, widely planted, and it does well in all the regions, from the cooler coastal areas into the warmer areas and everything in between. So if you're going to go grab a bottle of white wine from South Africa and to truly feel what South Africa is about, I think Chenin would be the way to go. The wine that we're having this afternoon is from our Darling vineyard. It's along the coastline, up along the west coast. Real cool climate in the South African sense. And this is really that lighter, more refreshing style. Gets a little bit of lees contact, which gives nice mouthfeel, and just lovely fruit. These are from low producing bush vines. So we've got low tonnage per hectare off these vineyards and really concentrated. So this is just a lovely Chenin Blanc. The second wine we're trying this afternoon is Pinotage, and again, this is a typical South African red wine. It's our own grape variety, of course. It's a crossing of Pinot Noir and Cinsault. You normally associate those two varieties with sort of lighter color. They are fruit-driven, Cinsault and Pinot Noir, but even a lighter style of wine when you're drinking it. Pinotage comes through dark and robust and with lots of fruit, and of course the tannin that goes with it. So the grapes are off the Fairview farm, and these are from beautiful old 25, 30-year-old bush vines on the farm. Again, quite low producing crop and very concentrated. When the grapes come to the cellar, it's just this explosion of fruit in the cellar. During the fermentation and pump overs, you just get all this lovely fruit, which is so typical of Pinotage. After the making, pressing, and off to barrels for about a year, and then we'll blend and bottle the wine. So in Pinotage, we're expecting this lovely clarity of fruit, and of course there's a little bit of the barrel age and the barrel character from the barrels coming through. This fruit I'm speaking about comes through on the palate as well, and then of course, as you expect on Pinotage, it's always got firm tannins, but those tannins in this case, although they're firm, there's quite a lot of tannins, they're really nice and juicy, and the wine's absolutely lovely. If you get the food right with this, especially a nice piece of South African lamb or beef, it's really good. Overall, a beautiful wine and a true representative of South African red wine, our own grape variety. Enjoy.
After starting at Fairview, I very quickly realized that I wanted to expand the range of wines that I make, and all the grapes couldn't be grown on a single estate. And with that in mind, I went out and searched for additional land where I can grow a host of different varieties. The search eventually took me to a little town called Malmesbury, which is the headquarters of the Swartland, and there I bought a piece of land of about 400 hectares and planted it to 120 hectares of vineyard. Today that property is called Spice Route, and it was the first quality offering of wines from that region, And that region called the Swartland has now become one of South Africa's most important wine growing regions.
Hi, I'm Charl du Plessis. I'm the head winemaker at Spiceroot. I've been making wine here since 2001. Today we're going to taste a couple of wines in the range. The first wine is the Spiceroot Chenin Blanc, the most planted white grape variety in South Africa because it's very versatile. The Spiceroot Chenin Blanc is a barrel fermented style. Half of the wine has been fermented in a stainless steel tank for about 10 to 12 days, and the second half, about plus minus 55%, is been fermented in old French barrels. The wine spent about 11 months in barrel before bottling. The wine itself is a more serious kind of fruit complement style of wine. On the nose there's hints of dried apricots and pears, and then that's all obviously backed by a nice fresh acidity and a beautiful balance of subtle oaking. Pinotage, as you all know, is South Africa's indigenous grape. It's a hybrid between Pinot Noir and Hermitage. It's also a very versatile grape variety that can make a fantastic wine in all different regions of South Africa, especially here in the Swartland as well. It's got a very thick skin. When we approach and making this wine, we go for a very modern New World ripe style of winemaking. It's open fermentation, and then we mature the wine in a combination of new and older American oak barrels. Typical of Pinotage flavors, if you think the mother of Pinotage is Pinot Noir, you normally find a lot of cassis, cherries, framboise on the nose, and that's backed by the sweet vanilla influence of the American oak. Chakalaka is our sort of signature blend. A lot of people ask me what grape variety is Chakalaka, and I always tell them no, it's not a grape. It's a generic name for blend of different spices. It's a typical South African blend of spices. The wine itself is also a blend of 6 grapes. There's Shiraz, Mourvedre, Grenache, Carignan, Petit Syrah and Tannat in a blend. We always use those 6 same grapes every year. It's just the percentage that change from year to year when we bottle a different vintage of Chakalaka. If you think of the combination of all these Mediterranean grape varieties, it makes a wine that's very exciting, very aromatic, very spicy on the nose. The whole blend has been matured between 14 and 18 months in a combination of French and American oak. Typical of blended wines, when we do the blend, we always blend for mouthfeel and subtleness. So although it's a very aromatic and spicy wine, it's got beautiful lingering and what I call seamless tannin structure. Malabar is Spiceroot's flagship wine. The name comes from a province in the east coast of India. We don't necessarily produce the Malabar every year. It's only on exceptional vintages that we do the Malabar. It must be the best wine that specific vintage can produce, and it must reflect the terroir of the Swartland. It's always a blend. It can be anything between 2 and 5 varieties. Normally we use Grenache, Mourvedre, Carignan, Petit Syrah and Tannat by making Malabar. All the fruit are kept separately, hand sorted, open fermentation, basket press, and everything has been matured separately in 100% new French oak for about 12 months. Afterwards we taste the components, we decide on the blend. I put the blended wine back into barrel for additional 6 to 8 months prior to bottling. But as I said, it's not every vintage that we produce a Malabar, it's only in exceptional vintages. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
A golden thread running through the 2 endeavors is one that I want to grow all my own grapes. Unlike a lot of my competitors who buy in grapes or wine, we focus on growing our own grapes, which has a lot of benefits, mainly in South Africa, job creation, and today we employ a collective of 600 people in the wine and cheese business. As all the grapes are grown by ourselves, we are able to impose conditions and structures in the workplace, and we're very happy and very proud to be able to grow all our grapes according to fair trade standards. These standards are audited from Germany, which ensure that everything in the vineyard is socially, ethically and environmentally well managed, and all the wines can carry a seal of authenticity. We have a lot of fun making our wines. It's a hard job and it's a way of life, and we are dedicated to improving the quality of people involved in the process as well as enhancing your experience. So please go out and enjoy our products. Thank you.